On Global Television News Express, federal government begins disbursements of tertiary institution staff fund. In business, economic experts project tariff drop but more industries on national grid. On foreign scene, Canadian Prime Minister says old world is gone, calls for strategic approach. And in sports, Liverpool feels pressure to end crisis run. Manchester City tests Bournemouth limits. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubong Usoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes 276. The Nigerian Armed Forces have witnessed a major transition in leadership as the outgoing Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, officially handed over to his successor, General Olusegun Oluyode. The ceremony, which took place at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, marked the beginning of a new phase in the country's military leadership. Our correspondent reports.
The brief but symbolic handover ceremony brought together senior military officers, defense chiefs, and top government officials. In his farewell remarks, the outgoing Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the opportunity to serve and commended officers and men of the armed forces for their dedication, loyalty, and professionalism. He highlighted the collective achievements of his tenure, including improved interagency coordination, enhanced troop welfare, and strengthened counter-insurgency operations, while urging continued unity and commitment to the security of the nation.
And for the peace and unity of our great nation, I will definitely miss you all, but I remain with you all in spirit. The journey continues, the mission endures, the duty never ends. Thank you for the honor of a lifetime. Long live the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Long live the Goodbye and thank you very much.
In his acceptance speech, the new Chief of Defense Staff, General Olusegun Oluyode, pledged to build on the foundation laid by his predecessor. He assured Nigerians of the military's unwavering commitment to national peace, unity, and territorial integrity. General Oluyode emphasized the importance of intelligence sharing, technology-driven operations, and joint task force collaboration in addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenges.
Under my leadership, the Defense Headquarters will continue to advocate for improved welfare, housing, medical support, and training opportunities for personnel and their families. We shall also invest in the moral and psychological well-being of our troops, ensuring that the sacrifices are recognized and rewarded.
The handover ceremony ended with a formal signing of documents and a symbolic transfer of command, marking a new chapter in the leadership of the Nigerian.
Federal government has commenced the disbursement of funds under the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund designed to strengthen staff welfare, institutional productivity, and innovation across Nigeria's tertiary education system. This is contained in a statement made in Abuja by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Education, Folasade Boriowo. Folasade, while quoting the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, on the milestone, stated that the welfare was an initiative of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. In another development, the Federal Ministry of Education has flagged off the IDEA's TVEST Youth Empowerment Training Program aimed at equipping Nigerian youth with technical and vocational skills for employment and self-reliance. The event was held at the University of Port Harcourt, saw the participation of key stakeholders from the education and private sector. Our correspondent reports.
It was a moment of hope and excitement at the University of Port Harcourt as the Federal Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Nigerian Youth Employment and Skills Acquisition Fund, officially launched the IDEA's TVEST Youth Empowerment Training Program. Leading the initiative, Prince Morgan Bob Manuel, project consultant, described the program as a pathway to building young entrepreneurs and innovators.
Are going to ensure that we succeed. How are we going to do it? Basically, by giving you the required skills in the area of fishing and farming, where we can eliminate hunger
The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Owonari George Will, commended the federal government and partners for selecting Uniport as the South-South training hub.
This program offers training in various areas, and for me, it is a very, very unique program that the federal government has initiated, working together with the World Bank and other stakeholders to ensuring that there is youth empowerment.
The South-South Regional Coordinator, Mr. Domsek Elder, said the training covers high-demand sectors like ICT, renewable energy, agriculture, fashion design, and small business management. The empowerment initiative is expected to train thousands of youth nationwide, turning many from job seekers into
Lawrence, a world Japo, has filed a suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja against the Bayelsa State House of Assembly over an alleged plan to impeach him. He alleged that members of the House of Assembly were under pressure to remove him from office because he refused to resign from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the platform on which he and Governor Duro Diri were elected. While Governor Diri recently resigned from the PDP, the deputy governor has remained in the party. Kebbi State government has dismissed a viral report alleging the existence of a secret airstrip in Argungu, purportedly used for smuggling cocaine into the country. At a joint press briefing held with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA, at the Cabinet Office in Beni Kebbi, the State Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Ahmed, described the report as false, baseless, and malicious. He said the story was fabricated using artificial intelligence technology to mislead the public and tarnish the reputation of the people of Kebbi State. The Senate has confirmed the nomination of Bernard Duru as a minister after a screening in plenary in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu had last week sent his name to the Senate in accordance with the provision of Section 14, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Topsy Gimba now reports.
During the screening, Duro, who hails from Plateau State, used the opportunity to outline his vision for fostering an inclusive humanitarian ecosystem in the country. He promised to create a humanitarian ecosystem that is inclusive, guided by impartiality and independence.
I intend to, contribute my quota to the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President by transferring the different experiences that I have in different sectors to help even in policy crafting and implementation so that the lives of Nigerians can be bettered.
After a few questions, senators expressed satisfaction with his credentials and capacity to serve. With his confirmation, Duro will now have the vacant position of Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, previously occupied by the current chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Nentawe Yelweda. Shortly after his confirmation, the Senate President, Gospel Pavio, called for the adjournment of the plenary to enable lawmakers to attend the inauguration of the service chiefs at the State House in Abuja.
The Senate, in the Committee of the Whole, considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, for the confirmation of Dr. Bernard Mohamed Duru for appointment as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The nominee answered questions from distinguished senators on a number of topical issues, and thereafter the committee approved the nomination of Dr. Bernard Mohamed Duru as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The plenary was adjourned to Tuesday next week. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global.
Now to Benue State. The Benue State government has shut down a privately owned mortuary in Bogolo, Opoko local government area after some community youth defiled public health regulations by forcefully placing the remains of a confirmed Lassa fever patient in the facility. The Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Paul Oroche, disclosed that he led a team comprising senior health officials and security personnel to Okpoko and Ogbadibo local government areas to restore calm and curb possible transmission of the disease following the mortuary's closure. Okocho said the disease, a 54-year-old woman from Ogbadibo, had died at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital in Makurdi, where laboratory tests confirmed that she was infected with Lassa fever. As Nigerians gear up for the Anambra governorship election on November the 8th, a major technological breakthrough is set to redefine how election results are reported. Soft Smart Enterprise Solutions has unveiled an AI-driven electoral results platforms that promises real-time transparency and instant updates across broadcast and digital channels. Our correspondent Sadia Yakubu has details.
For the first time in Nigerians' electoral history, election night coverage will be powered by artificial intelligence delivering verified results in real time. Managing Director of Soft Smart Enterprise Solutions, Charles Goriola Yakubu, says the system will automatically read and upload official results sheets to a secure database within seconds, instant displaying outcomes on the live television dashboards and online scoreboards as they appear on INEC's IREF portal.
What we're here to do today is first to introduce you to a breakthrough technology that our company developed. For the first time on Saturday, by the grace of God, we will tell you, we will project who will win that election by 8-9 as a result of this our technology. You don't need to have your agent in the polling units. All you need is subscribe to our system and your party headquarters, right? And monitor the elections.
Yakubu explains that each result form is processed in under 30 seconds with over 95% accuracy, compressing what used to take days into mere moments. He says the innovation is designed to restore public confidence by making results collation transparent, visible, and verifiable, reducing post-election disputes and tensions. The AI platform also integrates interactive storytelling tools, allowing anchors and analysts to showcase candidate profiles, party histories, and public highlights, turning raw data into compelling insight for viewers. Beyond live results, the system includes an electoral night analytics, mirroring international broadcast standards, and giving Nigerians not just numbers, but context, empowering informed commentary and trust in electoral reporting. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
The Lagos State government, in collaboration with the federal government, has cautioned public servants and youth against illegal migration and human trafficking, urging them to explore opportunities within Nigeria rather than risk their lives abroad. The appeal was made during a sensitization program themed Partnership for Protection, Safeguarding Public Servants Against Trafficking and Unsafe Migration, held at the Adeyemi Bello Auditorium, Alausa, in Ikeja. Organized by the Lagos State Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations in collaboration with key federal institutions and agencies. The initiative aimed to raise awareness about the dangers of human trafficking and unsafe migration among civil servants and young Nigerians. You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Canadian Prime Minister says old world is gone, calls for strategic approach. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. In business, a former president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has stated that the low level of industries on the national grid is making Nigerians pay more for electricity. Speaking during the 20th anniversary of the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission in Abuja, Adesina said in most climes where there is 24-hour power supply, commercial users make up 80% of the customers, while residential consumers take up only 20%. He also likened this to the reason why the national grid has not improved in comparison to the nation's population expansion. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has said the proposed 5% fuel surcharge will not be implemented until there is a significant improvement in key economic indicators, particularly an appreciation of the naira or a fall in the global crude oil prices. Speaking at the Haulage and Logistics Magazine Conference and Exhibition in Lagos, he noted that while the surcharge is a sound policy designed to fund road maintenance, introducing it could worsen the financial strain on Nigerians. He said the surcharge, which was first introduced under ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, was intended to dedicate part of the fuel revenue to road repairs, 40% for federal roads, and 60% for state and local government roads. On the foreign scene, Canadian's Prime Minister Mark Carney says the world is undergoing one of the most profound shifts since the fall of the Berlin Wall. China's President Xi Jinping had invited Prime Minister Carney to China in the first formal talks between the nation's leaders since 2017, before also holding their first discussion with Japan's new Prime Minister. Uyi Agbomofuegbe completes the report.
Canada's relations with China are among the worst of any Western nation. However, both are at the sharp end of Donald Trump's tariff onslaught, even after Xi and the U.S. leaders deal to de-escalate tensions. Speaking at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation CEO Summit in South Korea, Prime Minister Carney made clear that the rules-based liberalized trade and investment system the world has known for a long time is gone.
Our world is undergoing one of the most profound shifts since the fall of the Berlin Wall. And that old world, the world in which APEC prospered, but also helped to foster, that old world of steady expansion of rules-based liberalized trade and investment, a world on which so much of our nation's prosperity, very much Canada's included, that world is gone.
He challenged the leaders at the summit to be more strategic and forward-thinking, citing geopolitical factors and the scale of modern-day technology as the fundamentals driving global change.
I think we have to be clear-eyed about that reality, because nostalgia is not a strategy. And clinging to the past also ignores the scale of what's happening in parallel to these geopolitical changes, which is the scale of technological changes that are underway in life sciences, in the energy transition, and of course, most fundamentally, in artificial intelligence.
Ties fell into a deep freeze in 2018 after the arrests of a senior Chinese telecom executive on a U.S. warrant in Vancouver, Canada, and China's retaliatory detention of 2 Canadians on espionage charges. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Donald Trump's surprise directive to begin nuclear weapons testing provoked global criticism on Friday as it raised the specter of renewed superpower tensions. The announcement on social media was issued just before Trump, who frequently boasts of being a peace president, was to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping at the summit in North Korea. Trump's announcement left many unanswered questions, chiefly whether it meant testing weapon systems or actually conducting test explosions, something the United States has not done since 1992. Cameroonian opposition leader Issa Tetkoma Bakary has accused the government of orchestrating a campaign of repression targeted abduction following the disputed October 12th presidential election, which he claimed to have won. Tetkoma alleged that 2 members of his family and personal chef were kidnapped in Garoua on Wednesday night. In sports, Nigeria's Judo Federation has joined the global judo community in commemorating this year's World Judo Day with a fitness walk and advocacy campaign in Abuja. The event held at the Old Parade Ground, highlighting the values of peace, unity, and discipline, key principles that define the sports. Anita Patrick now reports.
It was a colorful display of sportsmanship and community engagement as judokas marched through parts of Abuja to mark World Judo Day 2025. Each year, October 28th, is specifically set aside to celebrate the life and legacy of judo founder Professor Jigoro Kano. This year's theme, Peace, resonates deeply with Nigeria's social landscape. President of the Nigerian Judo Federation, Dr. Musa Oshodi, urged Nigerians to embrace peace and mutual understanding as the foundation for national development. Represented by the Secretary General of the Federation, Jude Atta, he encouraged judokas to uphold the core values of respect, discipline, and togetherness both on and off the mat. He added that judo is not only a sport, but a way of life, teaching humility, courage, and cooperation.
Because ever since he came in as the president of this country, he has not just revamped sports, he has tried to reposition sports, and we are ready to key in to support our own way to make sure judo in the next Olympics will be there fully. That is our aim and target.
The event also featured training drills and demonstrations symbolizing the role of judo in strengthening harmony within communities. Meanwhile, the president assured that the federation remains committed to advancing the sport across states and nurturing champions who represent Nigeria proudly on the global stage. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Liverpool face and inform Aston Villa as the Premier League champions look to arrest their remarkable collapse on Saturday. While Arsenal aim to surge further clear in the title race, the Gunners hold a 4-point lead over Bournemouth, who travel to Manchester City before their trip to Burnley. Third place Tottenham are only 5 points off the top, but are aiming to end a 3-game winless run at home when they host London rivals Chelsea. As Global Television News Express comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. On Global TV News Express, federal government has commenced the disbursement of funds under the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund designed to strengthen staff welfare, institutional productivity, and innovation across Nigeria's tertiary education system. In business, a former president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has stated that the low level of industries on the national grid is making Nigerians pay more for electricity. The foreign scene, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney says the world is undergoing one of the most profound shifts since the fall of the Berlin Wall. And in sports, Liverpool face and inform Aston Villa as the Premier League champions look to arrest their remarkable collapse on Saturday, while Arsenal aim to surge further clear in the title race. That's it on News Express. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ubong Usoro. Bye for now.